Well, since I've been sitting here, I thought about another topic that I would cover with you. This might help some people out there with their in ears, and one of the biggest, I should say, barriers that I hear guitar players say when they talk about in ears is that they can't get them to sound like they want it to sound. And that's always one of those things where you fine tune a rig and you just fine tune it and you fine tune that rig, and then you put it through in ears and then it may not sound right. Right? It's like, what happened? I did that with the Kemper Profiler. Actually, I owned one for it was a couple years ago, but I didn't own it for long. I owned it for like 6 months. And I had a tweaked out rig that I on a Pod X3 Pro, actually, quite an older modeler, and I had it really tweaked out to what I really loved. And then I got the Profiler, and I got all these great profiles off of amps I have, amps that I borrowed, all kinds of stuff. And then when I put it through my PA, it didn't translate. And that was just something that I just didn't spend the time on it to get it there, right? I already had something that was working for me. So I didn't really have time so much, and they didn't have the foot pedal yet with the Cat 5 connection. You had to do MIDI, and I was just not going back to MIDI pedal after I'd been on a Cat 5 cable on even a Line 6 pedal. That's so much better than having MIDI and all that. So anyway, I had gotten a sound that really worked for me, and it didn't work for me on the Profiler. I just didn't spend enough time with it, to be honest with you. And that would apply, I think, to anybody that's putting a new rig into in-ears. You've got to spend some time with it, and maybe put your ears in and do all your tweaking with the ears in. I mean, that's the most obvious thing, right? Make sure you put some reverb in your in-ears. A lot of people, my bass player is all about dry in-ears, and I cannot stand what sounds like a stuffy room dead in my ears. That's just not for me. Now, if you like that, fine, do it. But for me, my experience has been to feel like you're in a room or feel you're like in a live environment. To have a little reverb helps you there. It also helps your guitar sound a good bit. Even if it's got effects on it coming from your rig, a little bit of ambience just makes you feel so much better. Like you don't feel like you're stuffed in a room somewhere. There are different in-ears that allow you to hear some of the noise into them, and I haven't experienced those yet, but they're probably pretty cool, to be honest with you. I'd like to try it. It is a little disconcerting when you're playing live and then the audience responds and you can't really hear it that well, and then maybe later you watch the video and you're going, damn, I can't believe they're so into it, and you thought, well, that would have been great to know that while you were doing it, that they really dug it. So yeah, that's a downside to in-ears. The upside is also that you're not getting cymbals right in your ear, your left ear or your right ear, depending on what side you're on. That tears your hearing up, depending on how far you're away from the drummer. And then if you're on a really big stage, it's even better because you've got such clarity because you're so far away from all the other players and instruments that you have total clarity in your in-ears. And that has been like one of the best experiences I've had. The bigger the stage, the better it sounds generally. Excuse me. So that's kind of my spiel on in-ears. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know. I'd love to talk about in-ears and what you're doing, what's working for you, and if I can help you in any way, I'd be happy to respond. Rock on.